Texas farming and ranching neighbors. Come on down my pecan tree lined lane. I'm down on the farm's Larry Marble. Sit down here with me down on the farm's kitchen table at the headquarters, and let's talk about the things that are affecting agriculture all over the great state of Texas as a part of Down on the Farm Radio. Neighbor, let's look at ag weather across the region. Abilene, mostly sunny, 96 the high, 72 the low, 10% chance of rain. Went out of the south at 7. Junction, mostly sunny, 92 the high, 71 the low, 20% chance of moisture. Winds out of the south at 14. Mason, mostly sunny, 91 the high, 70 the low, 10% chance of rain. Winds out of the south at 11. Smiley, mostly sunny, 91, 70, 10% chance of rain. Winds out of the south at 11. And finally, at the coast, Corpus Christi, mostly sunny, 91 the high, 71 the low, no chance of rain. Winds out of the south at 9. Neighbor, there's your ag weather from Abilene all the way down to Corpus Christi and points in between, and that represents the amount of country we cover on Down on the Farm Radio. Remember, we have affiliates in places like Abilene and San Angelo, all the way back down to Edna and El Campo, all the way to Corpus, back over to Jourdanton, Pleasanton, back up to places like Mason. And we appreciate you listening to all 14. And we appreciate you listening to this live stream. Please do business with the sponsors. And you can find those sponsors at our website, downonthefarmradio.com. You can listen to us on Facebook. You can listen to us on YouTube. You can listen to us on Twitter. Neighbor, let's take a look at our commodities of ag interest at or near the noon hour. Remember, don't make a trade using these. This is just a photo of a price in time. September corn, $3.32, even money down 2 1/4. November beans up 3/4 at $8.73 3/4. September Kansas City hard red winter wheat down 5 3/4 at $4.41 1/4. July West Texas intermediate crude is down 24 at $38.14. August gold is down 1 at $1,735.80 by the ounce. August live cattle down 2.5 cents at $96.75. August feeder cattle up 45 cents at $133.22. August lean hogs down 7.5 at $52.92. Our June class 3 milk is up 6 at $20.70. December number 2 cotton up 56 at $59.66. And your September U.S. dollar index up 207 points at 97.14. Neighbor, there's your commodities. All right, let me mark some things off my list. We did the commodities. I'm going to head down to the pens and rope us a livestock market operator report, or 2 or 3. Bring it back up to the kitchen table and serve it to you. Then I think I'll run down to the mailbox and see if the mailman left the grain markets. While I do that, you folks pay attention to this report from the Texas Farm Bureau Radio News Desk.
Was your crop not eligible for the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program, or CFAP? Well, there is still a chance to try to get it on a list of eligible crops. USDA's Stephanie Ho has more.
Latrice Hill, Director of Outreach for the Farm Service Agency, says
USDA is accepting additional commodities through a NOFA process. The NOFA is a Notice of Funds Availability.
The NOFA process is a request for more information. Producers have until June 22nd to submit pricing data on crops not listed in the first round via the regulations.gov website.
We don't want people to think my commodity isn't listed, so, I don't qualify. There is still that opportunity.
That report from USDA's Stephanie Ho.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans and all Texan ways of life.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to get insurance for Texans by Texans. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Parenting is full of surprises.
You never know what to expect.
So after our son was born, I called my Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent to set up a life insurance policy in case something happened to me.
Sawyer is now 2.
And we'll soon have a sister. There's no one else I would trust with protecting my family.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com for an agent you can trust with life's most important decisions. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
For the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network, I'm Jessica Dolmore.
Neighbor Hop Sing's about ready to feed us chicken fried steak and jalapeno gravy. Well, Benny Cox and I are sitting here at the kitchen table talking about how one of these days we're going to have a big old fish fry here down on the farm radio headquarters. That'd be more fun than selling sheep and goats. Benny, I understood y'all sold for quite a few hours yesterday.
It wasn't so much fun for me. It lasted almost 12 hours. It went a lot of smaller deals, but the market was awful good. We ended up, we started off yesterday about 1,000 less, and we got within 400 head of what we sold last week. We sold 76.48, and last week was like 80.43, I believe.
Right.
We got along real well. We've been having a bunch of these wool lambs that were, worked properly, so they could have gone to a feed pen. We didn't have very many yesterday. We had one fair-sized group that, and some of those were late castrated, and all I had horns and all that stuff. And I know they went to the ethnic kill deal. I'd call that market steady with very few offered. The slaughter hair lambs, my goodness, it was awful good yesterday. I'd call it 10 to 20 higher. Slaughter ewes, they were near 4 to 6 higher. Kid goats, they sold from firm to $10 higher. I wouldn't have thought that the kid goats could have gained any more, as good as that's been. These slaughter nannies, they kind of picked up a little yesterday, kind of 130 up to as high as $2, but mostly 140 to 70. Mature Billy's still awful good on those, from 190 all the way to 240. Very, very few bring less than $2. On the wool feeder lambs we sold yesterday, from 152 on some of those old big things up to as high as 190. On the light end of these hair sheep lambs will go to slaughter from 170 to 242. That was a unusual high. Probably more like 220 in a tick would be a realistic high for those. The heavier weights, which I break down about 80 pounds and plus, from 140 up to 190. We did have a big set of ewe lambs that weighed 92, and they brought 192, which made them dollar out around 180 a head, and they were really a nice set, and that's not a big price for those. We've been seeing those things bring up to $200 a head, for years. I know used to, 200 to 250 all day long. But anyway, these slaughter ewes, the flesh end of those from 70 to 104. Kid goats, 240 to 348. But mostly 270 to 305.
Do we know anything else about numbers for Thursday for cattle?
Now, I know one deal, 100 steers coming off wheat, coming from over here toward Big Springs. I don't know of a bunch. Like I was saying yesterday, we got a special calf sale slated for next Thursday. I would guess that some of those people with larger bunches probably looking at that advertising and probably hold off. But okay. I think we'll still be south of 1,000 this week. Next week, maybe not. May get above that since we're going to be shut down for July 4th. We'll shut down the week before, actually, Monday the 29th. Let's see, what the heck is that? I'm not even looking at
the 29th, Monday, I think.
29th through the 4th. So won't be any sheep sale or cattle sales for that deal. So don't bring anything in. Your feed bill will be awful high by the time we get them sold.
All right. Give us the contact info.
Yeah, they can call me on my mobile. It's 325-234-4277. Office is the same area code, 653-3371, or they can always look at the web, which is producersandcargyle.com.
I'm Larry Marble from Down on the Farm, and we're with Levi Anderson. Levi, the Stay Tough product is a great seller at D&D, and you've got some high-fence specials, don't you?
Absolutely, Larry. We have 2096 deer wire that we're running on special for $349 this spring. It's going to be good through the end of June or while supplies last.
Tell everyone how to get a hold of you for this particular product at D&D.
You can reach one of our friendly staff here at the store, 830-379-7340.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, kind sir.
Neighbor, we've been talking about genetics in sheep over the last couple of years as a means of making or building more parasitic resistant sheep. There's some talk about that being helpful, genetics anyway, in regards to some insects in beef cattle. Dr. Bob Judd talks about it on today's Texas Vet Report.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Texas Vet News on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. I'm veterinarian Dr. Bob Judd, and farmprogress.com indicates that one of the biggest seasonal problems in beef cattle is the hornfly. And because many of the chemicals used to treat flies are now becoming ineffective due to resistance, or the chemicals may be pulled off the market due to safety issues, we're going to find another option for control of horn flies. Dr. Dayton Steelman from the University of Arkansas Fayetteville indicates that he believes the answer is selecting cattle that have genetic resistance to horn flies. And this resistance is highly heritable among cattle, so breeding for resistant animals is possible. He indicated that specific breeds have different susceptibilities to horn flies, but even individuals in the breed have different resistance. The heritability estimate was 58%, which is quite high. Researchers in South Africa are working on breeding tick-resistant cattle, and the heritability of tick resistance is even higher at 80%. He indicated it appears that cattle have approximately the same number of hairs regardless of size, so bigger animals have larger spaces between the hairs. And research has shown that each individual hair has 2 sebaceous glands and 1 sweat gland. And the compounds being produced by these glands may either repel or attract flies, depending on the chemicals. Choosing animals that have glands that produce chemicals that repel the horned flies would be the key. So larger cattle have fewer glands that could repel flies. Cattle with slick hides and light colors also attract fewer flies. By finding these cattle that are naturally resistant to horned flies and breeding them, we would be able to eliminate a lot of chemicals that are not good for the cattle, humans, or the environment.
6 F-35A fighter jets, 1 NFL team, a trip to the moon, all have $1 billion price tag. Something else that costs $1 billion? Respiratory challenges in cattle each year. It's time to fight back against costly respiratory challenges. That's why Purina starter feeds are formulated with RX3 immune support technology. It boosts calves' natural defenses, priming their immune systems from the start. Talk to your Purina rep to learn more.
You're more than a rancher. You do what's right and trust others to do the same. That's the Texas way. Hi, I'm Pat McDowell, and we ranch near Shamrock, Texas. In 2019, your dollars helped the beef-loving Texans brand reach consumers nearly 300 million times. Efforts like the hit Hulu series Barber Quest and successful advertising prove that your checkoff is working hard to keep beef in its strongest state. Find out more at TexasBeefCheckoff.com, funded by the Texas Beef Council.
I'm veterinarian Dr. Bob Judd. This is the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
McCoys.com, McCoy's Building Supply, still family owned, strong, growing, and relevant for our ag community. Farm and ranch panels and gates, field fencing, welded wire panels, barbed wire and electric fencing. Shop online and find products and the store near you at McCoys.com. Neighbor, I'm in the mood to travel today. You already heard us talk to the good folks up there at San Angelo. Let's go on all the way up to Abilene in the big country and talk to Henry Pickett, Abilene Livestock. They sell them every Tuesday. Henry, how'd that sale go?
It turned out real well. We had 1,132 head total, about 200 cows. We had some really nice pairs that went back to the country. They bring 1,600 plus. Packer cows and bulls were steady to 2 to 3 higher, and calves were probably 2 to 5 lower. 4-weight heifer was bringing 130, 135, and a 4-weight steer 135 to 150. We had some yearling wean cattle, 750-pound good blacks and black baldies, and they were bringing around that 120.
Good. Were you pleased with the quality?
We had about half excellent quality, and the other was people cleaning up from shipping their yearlings and then starting to clean up their odds and ends.
Right. All right. Are you aware of anything, Henry, for the next week's sale?
We've had a couple of people call talking about sending some yearlings to be weaned yearlings, and then we've got hopefully another cow deal coming with some really nice cows and calves.
All right. Have the cows that you sold been able to stay local or within the region?
They stayed local here.
Good deal. Well, tell everybody how to get a hold of you in Abilene.
At the barn, you can call us at 325-673-7865, or my cell number is 940-733-8208.
We appreciate you, Henry. Thank you a bunch.
Thank you.
Neighbor, we're going to do grains and cotton here in just a minute, but first, you folks visit with my friend Tom Nicoletti from the Texas Farm Bureau Radio News Desk on today's edition of Texas News and Views. Tom, what are we talking about?
Texas rural children receiving summer meals through a USDA program. I'm Tom Nicoletti with Texas News and Views on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. More in a minute.
You're more than a rancher. You do what's right and trust others to do the same. That's the Texas way. Hi, I'm Pat McDowell, and we ranch near Shamrock, Texas. In 2019, your dollars helped the beef-loving Texans brand reach consumers nearly 300 million times. Efforts like the hit Hulu series Barber Quest and successful advertising prove that your checkoff is working hard to keep beef in its strongest state. Find out more at TexasBeefCheckoff.com, funded by the Texas Beef Council.
6 F-35A fighter jets, 1 NFL team, a trip to the moon, all have $1 billion price tag. Something else that costs $1 billion? Respiratory challenges in cattle each year. It's time to fight back against costly respiratory challenges. That's why Purina starter feeds are formulated with RX3 immune support technology. It boosts calves' natural defenses, priming their immune systems from the start. Talk to your Purina rep to learn more.
Almost 1 million meals have been served so far in Texas to low-income rural children through the Meals to You initiative, a partnership between the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Baylor University Collaborative on Hunger and Poverty, McLean Global, PepsiCo, and others are contributing to the success of the initiative. Brandon Lips is Deputy Undersecretary for Food Nutrition and Consumer Services with USDA. There are about 24 Texas school districts that are part of the program, participating or will be part of the program. So certainly a wide array of meals are being distributed across the state of Texas in this program.
Yes, sir, and we're excited about that. It is important to note for folks listening that school districts do sign up individually. This doesn't run state by state, and so if anybody's listening feels like they have a school district with some low-income children who could be served through this program, we want to make sure they know that they can still enroll in the program, whether in Texas or folks outside are listening. And enrollment happens on a website that Baylor put up called mealstoyou.org. And that's just like it sounds. It's mealstoyou.org. And the school district needs to go on and fill out a very short form to enroll, and then the parents can go on and enroll their kids. And it's really a relatively quick process to affirm them, and Baylor works with McLean to get those boxes shipped out.
There has been a wonderful response across the nation from many different organizations and agencies during this pandemic to get food to those people who are in need of food, and this, of course, is one of those ways. And so the Meals to You program, these are boxed meals. What's in those meals? Do they go get shipped directly to the homes?
Sure, Tom, they do. They're nutritious meals that meet the food nutrition requirements of our regular summer program at USDA, and making sure that kids are getting the nutritional needs that they deserve and we want them to have. They're everything from milk to boxed cereal, to chili and whole grain crackers, the types of foods that we mail out. And McLean has worked with UPS, who is frankly having to put on some additional staff on frontline workers who we're very thankful to at this time, to make sure that those meals are showing up on the doorstep of those kids. And Tom, to the comment that you made earlier regarding it being an across-the-board approach, the president talks about a whole-of-America approach. And we really take that seriously at USDA. This program, Meals to You, is certainly important to rural America, but school food service providers and our other local partners have stood up almost 60,000 summer stops throughout this country. Certainly the SNAP program and our food banks and other nonprofits are taking an important part of this. And that's really just on the feeding side.
Those comments again from Deputy Undersecretary for Food, Nutrition, and Consumer Services, Brandon Lips, with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, joining us today from Arlington, Virginia.
After my first car accident, I feared the biggest damage would be to my wallet. I expected a mountain of bills and a long, drawn-out process. But my Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent was there when I needed her and helped me get back on my feet and in my car in no time. Instead of a hassle, I got reassurance and a quick recovery.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to find an agent who's there when you need them most. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
This is Texas News and Views. I'm Tom Nicoletti with the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Neighbor, it's time to take a look at the grains courtesy of John Tuggle. Call 800-288-4453. Milo through Corpus in June, D's plus 85, 764. Houston, D's plus 110, 808. Progresso, 680. Yellow corn through Corpus in June. September, even money, 334 and a quarter. Progresso, September plus 55, 389 and a quarter. Hard red winter wheat through Corpus in June, July plus 85, 523 and a quarter. We'll call Houston, July plus 125, 58 and a quarter. We'll call soybeans through Houston, June, July delivery, July plus 55, 812. Even money. Neighbor, there's the grains. I'll be back with cotton after this.
We're talking with Scott Stanislaw, technical agronomist for DeKalb, Asgrow, and Delta Pine in South Texas. Scott, I know this cotton crop is growing quick this year.
And this crop's really starting to take off in some of these areas where rainfall's been abundant. And so it's one thing to consider is obviously a grower needs to be thinking about cotton PGRs and growth management.
So how will a farmer know when it's time to put out that growth regulator, Scott?
So I really like to use the method of when I walk into a field, kind of what I call the maximum internode distance. And the way to do that, and a grower can do this very easy, is walk out in the field. And basically, you're looking at the distance between the fourth and fifth node from the actual terminal. So starting at the top of the plant and counting down. So you're looking between the fourth and fifth node, and that's actually the area of the plant that's most sensitive to current growth. And so it's actually elongating there at the most rapid rate. And so if you're starting to get 3 inches or more of internode distance there at that particular point, plant growth regulator is probably warranted at that point.
Scott Stanislaw, technical agronomist for DeKalb, Asgrow, and Delta Pine.
Neighbor, as we look at cotton, the average world price is $49.60 in cents per pound. The week's LDP is $2.40 per pound. 31 bale of East Texas cotton, 99 bale of West Texas sold yesterday. Prices range from $55.07 to $57.57. Neighbor, looks to me like I'm exhausted all the time. We're going to give ourselves for this live stream edition during the noon hour from down on the farm's kitchen table. Come on back down the lane tomorrow, past those pecan trees, into the kitchen, have a big old heaping helping of ag lunch with us. No place but the kitchen table, no place but down on the farm. Neighbor, I'm Larry Marble.